Welcome back to Pittsburgh Fashion Week. I'm Gina Vensel with Easy Street Promotions, and I'm here with John Valentine from the Downtown CDC and Pittsburgh Fashion Week. We've been having an amazing week worth of activities ranging from dance performances and live film performances and tutorials. And so I want to ask you what we have in store for Thursday of Pittsburgh Fashion Week 2020, John.
Thursday we have more dance videos. We also have a gentleman named Gabe playing music. I was just amazed at watching this young man play. And he is a Point Park University student product. He's part of Pioneer Records.
Oh, cool.
Pioneer Records is Point Park University's music label, yeah. And,
very cool.
And we have five different artists this week from Pioneer Records playing.
That's so amazing.
So we have one each night, and the videos are great. And boy, what a great job that Point Park does and with their music, and that's a tribute to Ed Traviseri.
They have been such an amazing media partner for us throughout this entire process, helping us with all of the media for this digital experience that Pittsburgh Fashion Week has taken a turn for 2020. And so what else do we have in store for our Thursday of Pittsburgh Fashion Week?
We have another artist alley with James Simon.
Well, that was a fun one.
That's another one you did.
That was one that I had the pleasure of getting to interview and getting to see his studio and take a tour of the facility. It was absolutely amazing to get to meet him.
What a talented young man.
He's so talented.
And the thing that comes through with this video, this artist alley, is the fact that what a life he lived. What a cool life. When you hear his story, how he traveled all over the world, how he was a violin maker at one point. My God, not only does the talent come through, but that adventurous spirit, that spirit of wanting to learn and wanting to live. And I thought this was a great artist alley. Obviously, you did a great job.
Thank you. He was just fun to meet him in person. I mean, I've seen his sculptures on Liberty Avenue downtown, like those massive musicians. They're just like iconic in the cultural district. And then to finally meet the man behind and then to learn his story, it's definitely something you're going to want to tune in for sure.
And something you want to watch is the head on the dog's body. That was so cool. So keep an eye out.
There's lots of
that.
Quirkiness at his studio and lots of fun things to check out for sure.
And by the way, I've been to his studio on numerous occasions. He used to have his studios on Gist Street, if I pronounced that right. Mm-hmm. And Gist Street Poetry was his baby. So I used to go there for poetry readings, and then he also had musical performances there. So this is all obviously pre-COVID, mm-hmm. But boy, what a cool space.
Well, I hope that we can get to the point where we can safely have gatherings like that again, because you mentioned that, and that definitely sounded like something that I would love to attend. But in the meantime, while we can't gather together, we have been able to experience a lot of these digital experiences, from workshops to interviews with artists and models and designers, to really getting to tour art studios. So this has been a really incredible year, and with Pittsburgh joining forces and working collaboratively with cities nationwide, this has definitely been a year I feel that's going to put Pittsburgh on an even bigger map, being that we're collaborating with so many different cities.
Yes. Couldn't have said it better than that, Gina. We are so happy to be working with these other cities, and I think the other cities feel the same way. It's been just a great collaboration.
And no better time than now, I feel like, during this pandemic, for people to come together and in the fashion community in the ways that they have, with the amazing videos that have been submitted. I can only imagine that next year, even if we can safely do, the runway shows, that I feel like a lot of these videos should still continue because of just the talent that has come through.
The film festival will be a standalone event. Okay. And the collaboration with the cities will continue. And this was the year to experiment and try different things, and so far it looks like it's working. So we'll see.
And then for all of the Pittsburgh Fashion Week events, you can go to PGHFW20 and be sure to follow along on social media and share your experiences as well to be a part of the 2020 Pittsburgh Fashion Week experience. Hi, I'm Gina Vensel with Pittsburgh Fashion Week, and welcome to another episode of Artist Alley. Today, I'm in James Simon's beautiful studio with the artist here himself. Where we are right now is like a little oasis from the street. You wouldn't even see how awesome this is, that you have this like really amazing outdoor area.
But you will see it, because
we're gonna
do
a little walk around for sure. So James, if you could let me know, what am I staring at right now? What is this?
Yeah, so this is, right now in the last couple months, I've been making garden sculptures for unique sculptures for people's gardens, and the original one's made in clay. I'm actually can show you right here. This was the original one. So this is beautiful. Clay. It's kind of beat up now, but and then a mold was made from this, and this is the mold. And then I cast it in concrete.
So you're able to use this same mold and create, various versions of this same
you can make many. You can make many of these, but then they can get colored in various finishes. And then this is going to come off.
Oh wow, that is neat.
And then that's the back. And then I have to do this. This is the only way I can get off the front. It's easy. Like that.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And there she is.
Oh, you're right, it's like a burst. That is just gorgeous.
Lady with chicken. When I went to high school, my main interest was I fell in love with the ceramics department, and I had a great ceramics teacher named Mr. K. Ed Kosowitz, who kind of inspired a lot of people in his reign, in Peabody High School is where I went, which is why I so value art in high schools. And I know how important it can be for kids at that age group. Here we are on the second floor. This is just a hallway. There's an apartment here that a friend of mine rents, so we won't go in there, but it's a cool space. Here are some sculptures. This is a typewriter. I did a whole series of typewriters out of ceramics.
Love that.
This is the only one that's left. This is kind of a model for a large-scale sculpture. You can see the Mexican influence, the mariachis in the mule. And and they're like the lover. I like the lovers under his butt. So yeah, some of my ceramic stuff. These are portraits of my friends.
Oh my gosh!
On dog bodies. They're all people that live locally.
Oh, it's so cool.
Lynn is in DC now, but yeah, they're all,
Very cool.
Rick Schweikert. John Walters, he's a great iron worker. Sherry Flick, she's a great writer. And Lynn Myers, he's an amazing painter that's based in DC. Hopefully I'm going to do a bunch more, but.
Very cool.
I'm a big believer that if it's at all possible to try to do something you really like to do, find a way to do what gets you excited in life, And I'm lucky enough that I was able to pull that off. I met a guy that was a violin maker in Eugene, Oregon, and I fell in love with the idea of making a violin, and so I apprenticed with him. And then fast forward a few years later, I ended up actually apprenticing with a violin maker in Manchester, England.
Wow.
With the idea of becoming a violin maker as a profession, and that was a great kind of experience and adventure and a learning. That was my school. I developed my skills there. And I had a couple of fabulous teachers, both in England, one in Manchester, David Vernon, and one in Oxford, Andrew Dipper. And between the two of them, I learned how to make violins and do restoration, and was exposed to a lot of incredible artwork from the 1600s, violins and other things. So that was a world that I entered, and then I became a violin maker. And then You know, my life story is pretty long.
You see, how old are you actually, James?
I've packed in a lot of stuff.
You have so far.
I don't know how
That's
much of this you want to know. All right, come on
Wow. Amazing.
in. So this is my pad, where I live, where I design stuff.
Great.
That's a functioning bathtub. That's where I take my bath. This place used to be a junkyard originally. When I
Wow.
bought it, you know, it was filled with stuff. So I cleaned it out and had this vision to turn it into a cool space. You know, and back before the pandemic, I had many events here for years. The hammock comes down and this place fills with chairs. You'll see lots of chairs everywhere. For 10 years, we had the Gist Street Reading Series, which was a national poetry and writing series.
Oh,
that
wow.
became really popular. We had great writers from all over the country. It was really fun. You know, like my public art, I like to share, you know, my space with the community and bring interesting, you know, cultural events like readings and music into the neighborhood. I was living in Mexico for a while, and I was exposed to a lot of incredible pre-Columbian art, Aztec art, Mayan art, a lot of sculpture, a lot of clay stuff. The Mayans make these incredible clay things. And I started to get the urge to want to do something besides violin making. So I moved from Mexico back to Eugene, Oregon, and I got involved in a sculpture department at the University of Oregon. I developed methods to make large-scale sculptures out of clay. A lot of things like these are models. See that? Minus the shaving cream. Like, so that's a model for a sculpture that I actually did in Cleveland called the Buckeye Trumpet Man. He's 16 feet, and you can find him in the Buckeye neighborhood of Cleveland. So that's how the big sculptures start.
Now, is the public art piece downtown, the musicians that you've made? What medium is that? Is that clay? Is that metal?
So clay is good for a lot of things, but as you create bigger work, it gets more and more complicated for public art. Many artists that do public art, they make molds and they cast them mostly in bronze. But to be able to do it in concrete is another way that's a little more affordable for the public, and it's also a different look that's more like stone. So yeah, my first big commission with cast concrete are the Liberty Avenue musicians downtown. They're 15-foot sculptures on Liberty Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh, and that was where I really seriously learned how to create large-scale sculptures in concrete. So over here, these are very special masks. They're by the Huicholi Indians in Mexico. I lived in Mexico for 3 years or so, and I met some amazing indigenous people. And the Huicholi Indians, they're covered in wax, and then they press little glass beads into the wax. They use a porcupine quill to pick up each bead and put it into the wax, and then all the imagery on the masks symbolizes their various spiritual beliefs. Right now I'm doing a lot of garden sculpture for the spring and summer. It's kind of fit in well with this pandemic. There was a lot of interest in my work for people's gardens, so I created things out of clay and then I cast them in concrete. But what I especially really got in Pittsburgh was because when you're local and you live in a city, it's much more personal relationships. As I met the mayor of Braddock by accident at a party, John Fetterman, in maybe 2007, 2008. And we got talking, and he was really excited that I was the person that made the Liberty Avenue musicians and asked me if I would do something in Braddock. And I said, I'd love to do something in Braddock. So I worked in Braddock for maybe 3 or 4 years, in collaboration with John Fetterman and the Braddock Youth Project, which is an AmeriCorps program, and I worked with high school kids. And we made the Welcome to Braddock sign, a mosaic. I also do mosaic. In fact, the first mosaic that I did was in Braddock because I was going to do a sculpture and I needed to have something for the kids to participate in. So I said, well, I'm going to teach myself how to do mosaics, and they're going to help me do that. That is a mosaic project that I did in Bradenton, Florida. It's 120 feet long, kind of the life and history of Bradenton, Florida. Bradenton, Florida is where the Pirates go in the wintertime for their spring training. And so that's why you'll see some Pirates up there.
Oh, yeah.
But that took me a year to make down in my studio. It was a extremely large-scale mosaic project.
And so the sign in Braddock today was made also with the children as a part of that program?
Yeah, it was part of the high school kids Braddock
really
Youth
awesome.
Project. So that was our first really big mosaic with the kids. We practiced on smaller stuff and then we made that. And then I made some other things there too. I made a mosaic park and so forth. But that experience introduced me into the world of public art being put into places that really need it. This beautiful baby, this is a dragon covered in dragonflies. This was made by my ceramics teacher that I was talking to you about, and I inherited this when he died. So, they gave it to me.
Oh, it's so special.
At his funeral.
Aww.
So
wow.
That was a great thing.
So you don't want to skip art class because this all started in high school. You know, you want to support the arts and young people. It seems like that's,
right.
You know, where passion can really begin. And just to be able to have this time with you and get to tour your space and for you to open up your home to us has just been so amazing. And I'm so grateful for you and appreciate you so very much. And appreciate all of you watching today. And we hope that you'll tune in for more Artist Alleys and learn more about Pittsburgh Fashion Week at PGHFW.com.
Thanks for coming.
Take a deep breath and let it all out. Over and over again. Tear away your dreams by the seams and throw them about. Over and over again. Fall back to your corner. It's over. The game was rigged from the start. Take a seat and watch it go by. Over and over again. Spend away your years through your fears and let it all fly. Over and over again. Something out of nothing, still
Indiana Fashion Week is an initiative of Indiana Fashion Foundation, a 501c3 organization. Our mission is to enrich the business of fashion in the state through collaboration and providing industry resources to Indiana. The focus of our efforts includes attracting and retaining talents, increasing tourism, and creating partnerships. The week includes the Youth Designer Challenge, runway shows, and a scholarship presentation to the winner of the INDFW Emerging Designer Competition. The Indiana Fashion Foundation produces programs for youth interested in fashion and entrepreneurship. Also featured as a part of Indiana Fashion Week is the Making It in Fashion Industry Conference, which is a gathering of both statewide and national industry leaders who engage in insightful discussion that spans the history of fashion. These discussions aid in continuously moving the needle forward. Indiana Fashion Week is an annual engagement of the creative community that makes up for the fashion ecosystem of Indiana. We are dedicated in connecting the world of fashion, strengthening the industry of fashion, securing the future of fashion.
Hello, everyone. I am Denisha DeLange. I'm the founder of Indiana Fashion Foundation and Indiana Fashion Week. And so I'm super excited to bring with you some amazing youth who are interested in the fashion industry. And actually, they're not just interested in the fashion industry, they're actually taking steps as a youth to actually pursue that career. So I started designing when I was in my teens, and I actually produced my first show at age 15. And so it was really important for me along this journey to always include youth. And because I know how it is being a kid out in the world trying to actually pursue a career. And it's really important to have a safe space, an inspiring space, a space where they can just learn and grow. And so I want to introduce you to three amazing youth. We have Zarion. He is a fashion designer. We have Mary. Mary is a model and on her way to be a mogul. We also have Ella. Ella is an amazing fashion designer as well. Each one of them participated in Indiana Fashion Week last year. And so one of my biggest things is to continue with those who have participated in the shows to be outside of just a show. So looking for other opportunities for them. So I'm going to stop talking and we're going to actually dive into this interview right now. And so what we're going to do is start with Ella first. So Ella, I did talk about you being a designer, but tell me more about you and then what you also do in the fashion industry.
So I love designing really dresses. That's my biggest thing. I love designing dresses. Here lately, I have been pushing my boundaries and seeing what I really want to do. I have been doing just normal dresses to wear, like out to go eat, whatever. And then I have also been doing kind of like experimenting with older fashion, so like 1950s, 1940s. I have also been working on younger, like kids clothing, so like little girls' dresses. And I've even gotten to the point where I've been working on swimsuits.
Oh, wow.
Trying to see if that's maybe what I want to do. And I mean, it's fun. It's difficult. I'm just trying to see what all I want to do, and I'm just trying to try everything to see what I like best. And yeah.
That's awesome. I loved it. I love the fact that you did, like, just try it. Because that's what I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to do I'm gonna do jerseys, I'm gonna do neckties, I'm gonna do wedding dresses. Like I just was doing all kind of things to see what I liked and what I did not like. So that's super great that you're doing that. Well, thank you for joining us for this call, and I'm loving your dresses behind you.
Thank you.
Which one is like, can you show the one with the flowers in the back?
This one? Okay.
Oh, you can leave it, you can leave it hung. Okay, got the top part. The chiffon.
This one is what I was kind of saying, the 1940s, 1950s. I had actually gotten this fabric for sale because no one was wanting it, so I got it. And these two dresses, actually, these were design challenges that I gave myself. And so this I gave myself 12 hours to work on, and this I gave myself 24 hours to work on. And so when I had seen this fabric, I got inspired to do like this 1940s, 1950s tea party dress, kind of like inspired from when I had watched the movie The Help. And seeing their dresses, I really liked them. And so I tried to do that, but I also did add my own little touch with, you can't really see from the hanger, but they're poofy shoulders. They come out, and then the neck line is almost like a choker, and it has red beads going down, which I really, really liked. And the small dress, the skirt is very, very poofy, and I really like that. So
I love it. Well, we'll dive probably some more. I see a couple more back there. I'm like, okay, I love this detail, the ruching, the gathering. Okay, so yeah, we'll get back to that. So thank you again. All right, Mary, tell us about yourself and what you do in the industry.
Hi, I'm a model, and I got signed with L Models in around October 2018, and I am really interested in runway. That is more like my thing. And print, I'm not too bad with print, but I would just say like high fashion is like more my thing, not really commercial, but yeah, runway is where I'm at.
Okay, well, let's see some of your pictures. Like, hold up your portfolio. Let's see.
This is my portfolio. This is one of my favorite pictures. This was the first picture I received when I got signed.
That's significant.
Thank you. And then I did this photo shoot with William Photography. That's his Instagram.
Yeah, I love him.
And then I have this one. Whoa.
Beautiful.
With Pattern Magazine. And I have this photo. It's like kind of like a JCPenney shoot.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I did this with John. He's in Chicago. Yeah, that's just a few pictures.
So in the modeling industry, like I see it's a variety of different shots that you had in there. Is there a certain particular like type of shoot? I know you said more runway, but like a certain like vibe that you like the most, whether it's runway or print?
I would have to say more like serious look for my photo shoots. Because, you know, it brings that more high fashion look to it. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us again today. I'm excited to see what your thoughts are about the fashion industry. All right, Zarian, tell us about yourself and then what you do in the fashion industry, and then also show us what you got going on in the background.
Okay, well, my name is Zarian, of course, and I'm 17 years old, and I live in Evansville, Indiana. And I would say my goal, did you ask for my goal?
Well, what you do in the fashion industry?
Okay, well, I do fashion design, and I'm working towards that, so, yeah.
Okay, and then, well, you talk about a goal, that's fine. We were just doing introduction, so tell us about yourself and your...
Oh, well, then one of my biggest goals, I would say, is to build, like, a fashion empire. So, yeah.
So, like, a fashion house.
Yeah.
And then the components of what it's going to take to make that garment there, like a manufacturer. Oh, okay. That's kind of like my dream. A part of it. Awesome. Let's talk about your design in the back.
Well, I really like unconventional like designs and stuff like that. So that's one I'm working on right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. And you got your sewing machine, so you're already ready.
Yeah. After this, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you again for each one of you introducing yourself. And that gives us a great insight, just a base on like the conversation today. So we're going to go into what made you want to be in the fashion industry, and then if there's any barriers you've had, so that your decision to do it, and then any barriers that you've already experienced. So whoever wants to start. Does anybody have any? Oh, go ahead, Ella.
So about a year and a half ago, I was in a pretty sad and gloomy place. I did music before fashion, and my studio had closed down. And I spent like every single night of the week there. That was what made me happy. That's what made me, that's what kept me busy. That's what I filled my time with and made me happy. Well, that closed down, and I had sewed a little bit a few years prior to that, but it was never really anything big. It was just kind of like small little projects, like little purses, nothing too big. And then when my studio closed down, I started to try and find different things that could fill in that void of not having anything to do. So I started to pick back up sewing, and within a few months, I had learned already just so much. And that's when my dad got in contact with Nikki Blaine Couture. And she had sent over the information for Indiana Fashion Week, and I was just over ecstatic. I was just so happy because that just opened up so many opportunities for me, and I was just so happy. And I got to experience all the amazing things from Indiana Fashion Week, and it was just a whole nother world. And I had never thought that I'd be able to experience something like that. But now it's to the point where it's like, that's the stuff that I'm working forward to experience more of. And I'm just so excited and happy, and I'm just ready for all of it.
And that's amazing too. Like, I'm super excited. It like gives me chills. Like anytime somebody's like how beneficial it is, because it's a lot of work. Just like anything you do is going to be work. And the whole purpose is to be impactful to others so that it can help launch you in your career, help you establish some connections or opportunities, help you learn. So I'm super happy to hear that. And then it's interesting how you talked about, like one thing closed with your the music studio, and then the emotions you felt from that, then you being able to move forward in this space. And oftentimes in life, you have these transitions where one door closes, but another one always opens. So that's interesting in that. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other youth going through that as well, Okay. What about Mary? What about you? Any like reasons for you to be in the fashion industry, but then also any barriers you've experienced?
I kind of was just influenced to do it from my friend Kaylee. She got signed with the L Models when she was like 12 years old, and she's 17 now. So that kind of inspired me. I went to one of her fashion shows, and I was just amazed on like high fashion and like all the work they put into it, So that kind of inspired me. So I went online with the L Models and went to a call out meeting, and then she signed me. So
awesome. And I'm super excited that we have our, agencies like that here in Indiana to be able to bridge that gap to, bigger markets. And Indiana is growing. Yeah, exactly. So have there been any barriers you've experienced or anything so far? Or
they might not like your look, so they won't choose you for certain things. And that can be really hard because you want to stay busy and get more work, but sometimes you're not always the look for that. But there's always other opportunities. And when you do fashion shows, other people might become interested in you and want you to work for them. So it always works hand in hand, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Zarian, what made you want to do fashion, and then what type of barriers have you experienced?
Well, I would say I always liked fashion from like a younger age, but just recently, well, not recently, I guess like 4 or 5 years ago when I met Miss Gardner, well, Emily Gardner, and she taught me how to sew. Like, I really found a love for it, and just like the process and like sewing the garment and stuff like that. I really found a love for it, and like I've always been quiet, and shy, so like I kind of found my voice in like sewing and creating like art, which is like fashion voice. So I think that's why I've always liked it or loved it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then what about, have there been any barriers you've experienced?
Ooh. I would say like during the process of like sewing or like.
Yeah, just in general, just like you trying to get into the industry or, you know, you sewing any area.
I would say
that was just a barrier for you.
I would say, well, what has to do with sewing on the subject of that is just like making my own patterns and stuff, because I do make my own patterns. So then like making the patterns is like harder for me, but I'm learning slowly.
Okay, awesome. So if you could tell someone, you know, anyone in Indiana that has like the resources to invest in programs that help you, what would you tell them, and what would you tell them that would mean to you?
This past year, this has been like my biggest dream ever. And so if there were any more resources that I could reach out to or that I can find, that would be the biggest help, because I have been working my butt off this past year. And so just having more resources to help get me out there, to just inform me more, just helped me in total, that would mean the world to me, and I know for many other designers as well, because it is hard for youth to get out there, but with your help, and I know Emily's help, and well, with Nikki, she had helped me and pushed me forward, and with all this help, it really, really does help. And so if there were other people out there who would invest in not just money, but time, and information, that would just help so much, and it would mean a lot.
Okay, what about you, Zarian?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Ella. Like, knowledge is like the best like thing they can ever invest in us. So like, if they can just like give us knowledge and like teach us like different things in the business, in the fashion business, that can like really help. And then, you know, it's just like a cycle. So then when we get older, then we can give it to the youth.
That's my hope. No.
Yeah.
Exactly. So being able to be like a mentor, because I know like there's so many things I bumped my head on because I just didn't know, you know, so many places I probably shouldn't have been, but I just didn't know. Like, you know, you're trusting people and then you just don't have that guidance. So that's really great. Like both of you said something about mentorship in that, what you just spoke. What about you, Mary? What would you say to them?
What follows along with that is getting more connections, like working with more photographers, doing more shows. You can like get yourself out there more, exposure, more practice, which would really help and get you noticed by bigger agencies. So.
Okay. All right. So mentorship, opportunities, practical opportunities where you can actually apply what you learned and actually be able to do it, and also get paid doing it, you know, but also just internships that you're open to those too as well. And then of course money. So I hear a lot of different things in there, but one of the biggest things is just really just being in some way supporting the youth, because you have a voice, you have talent, and why not take the time now to be able to develop in that? Because guess what? If you do that now, there's no telling where you will be by the time you're 18, 25, 30, and so forth, and how much impact you've made with other people. Like you said, Zarian, you would be able to come back and help others. All right, everyone. So you've heard directly from these amazing youth who are interested in the fashion industry. And again, they're beyond interested. They're actually pursuing careers in this. It's about fashion, of course, that's what we do. But it's beyond that. It's more like whatever a youth wants to do, definitely find ways to support them in this, because there's no telling where they will be in however many years, because they had that mentorship. They actually was able to understand some of the business or the business aspect of it. And they just had some, support to be able to guide them in a positive way that really can show them the way. And we will, we look forward to sharing more. So just visit IndianaFashionWeek.com. That's IndianaFashionWeek.com. You can also visit IndianaFashionFoundation.org. That's IndianaFashionFoundation.org. All right. Bye.
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 I'm sitting in the backyard with my head full of doubt. My skin might be melting and my brain's pouring out. No pill popping junkie couldn't see through me now. I bet you're thinking of me and what I'm all about. Did 90 days in Pittsburgh at the county jail. I wrote my baby letters, they got lost in the mail. My mama, she once told me, son, your head's not right. Go do what mama told you, son, you're way out of line. You're way out of line. No need to get excited, son, I have been around. That's why you're not invited to the party. You get yourself in trouble just to keep yourself amused. And when you're seeing double, you're a hell of a ruse. Where's your head at now? Where's your head at now? Where's your head at now? Busted lips and broken noses spilling out of the bar. Shaking hips in double doses, they don't know who we are. Oh, fists and elbows flying too far last night. Should have seen them kids a wailing, was a hell of a fight. Where's your head at now? 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 already. If I speak to your worry, how do I know? Like a speeding bullet train, send a message to the brain and hope you find. It's not a hard decision, but it's driving you. Can I get it through the door? Should we hide it in the dark and hope you find? Can we even wash it out, or is it just a stain? Can we get to the source? Should we let it run its course? Make a small incision, relieve in your brain. Tell me, are we ready? Are we going steady? Can I reach into your heart and pull out stars? Tell me, are we ready? Are we going steady? Can I reach into your heart and pull out stars? feel good. Crying makes you feel good. It kinda makes you feel good. building towards the future. Feeling time, patching you like woodwork. My hustle on the side, falling through the ozone, losing my mind. Driving through the West End with a closing up the blind. I can't leave, I can't stay. All of the good ones are dying away. Yeah. Turns out that all the wrong circles are really spirals. When they grab hold of you, they drag you down. Ask anyone that you roll with, anyone that you know now. Are they learning a helping hand? Are they holding you down? I can't leave, I can't stay. All of the good ones are dying away. Yeah. I can't leave, but I can't stay. All of the good ones are dying away. Yeah. As any outstanding member of society, they're doing the best that they can to make ends meet. Write down your name and number and give it to me. Yeah, I'll give you a call someday if there's something I need. Try real hard to remember person, place, or thing. Are you lending a helping hand to someone in need? Write down your name and number and give it to me. Yeah, I'll give you a call someday if there's something I need. Write down your name and number. Write down your name and number. I'm an outstanding member. I'm an outstanding member. Write down your name and number. Write down your name and number. I'm an outstanding member. I'm an outstanding member. Write down your name and number. Write down your name and number. I'm an outstanding member. I'm an outstanding member. Write down your name and number. Write down your name and number. I'm an outstanding
So as we head into a more gender fluid society, I kind of feel like the fashion world has this opportunity to create and support this global unification around a genderless fashion.
To finish a look in fashion, you're gonna need hair and makeup. And I feel like it's such a powerful part of a final look. It's a puzzle piece that we as women give to ourselves, and I think a lot of men are starting to give to themselves as well. Ryan wears makeup, he's been wearing makeup forever. He feels his best when he's in it. It's a tool we use every day to put our best face forward, to convey what we want the world to see.
So fashion doesn't really have to represent that female, male, or man, woman gender specificity. It's really more about representing an attitude and style and a personality and trend setting that is so much more than that. Fashion to me is kind of like music. It breaks down barriers and boundaries and inserts a universal language of self-expression. And that to me has always been what fashion is about. It's about life, it's about lifestyle, and about transparency. And that means going beyond gender and beyond inclusivity.
So good. And that's a wrap.
take that fake down money. You know I don't have much to share. Light a cigarette and walk across Forbes Avenue. It's back to school to show my daddy that I'm not a fool. She said don't lie, so I think the truth it was a younger me. It was a reflection of my youth. What do you gotta say to me that I already don't know? No, no. Just be yourself, I'll be mine. Better look when you choke. You choke. See her walking downtown, kick back in the ground. Then his head's turned around just like a boneless sound. Just got a face on, face on. G in a case of disgraceful US face on. Race on, but you'll never reach your face, no. So with elegant wrists, I'm a dying to assist you with a kiss. Erase your lips, stick your hands in your thighs. Reach up in the sky, I'm holding but withholding. It's a picture in the ride. What do you gotta say to me that I already don't know? Don't know. Just be yourself, I'll be mine. Fiddle when you choke. You choke. What do you gotta say to me that I already don't know? Take a note for yourself and never let me go. We're only children making our first mistakes. So love is 100 words more than you can read. And I feel it hiding, oh, I feel it hiding in the words you say. Say it to my face. I try to swallow what I see in the mirror. Hey, hollow is the only thing I find in my tears. It used to be when I feel like you could just cover your ears. Now there's separate sides of me, I don't know what I feel. Or my reasons on pages stay clean. Don't wanna be 25 rolling green. Wrote this thing, but if you had it with me, put your signs up and sing. Never lower the bar, it'll be pace so driven. I'm like, what's the hype? That a slip seems so strife. I'ma call them on up until we're into a night. It was paradise, streets of white. Jealous eyes disguise my mind. You see the price that I had to pay. Up and walk away, hey, up and walk away, stay. What do you gotta say to me that I